Code 8 is a new movie. It just happened to drop on Netflix, but I happened to see it on VOD a couple of days for a drop on Netflix, so I spent $4.99 on the rental. But if I waited 2 days later, I would have saved $4.99 and I would have saw it for free. Code 8 is a new movie directed by Jeff Chine. This film stars Robbie Amell and Stevie Amell. They both played roles in the CW show Arrow. Robbie Amell played Firestorm in season 1 and season 2 of Flash before being killed off, and also Stephen Amell. I think he currently still plays Arrow. So Code 8 basically takes place within this world where basically 3% of the world's population has abilities. The world has a mandate on people with abilities saying that they can't go to certain areas, they can't work certain jobs. You know, it does sound familiar, actually, in a way, when I talk about the plot synopsis. In this world, we have this character named Connor Reed who has a secret ability. I'm not going to tell you what kind of ability he has. It's up for you to discover what it is. But he has a secret ability, and it's preventing him to get the job he needs to try to save his mother, who is suffering from the inability to control her powers. Her powers is unstable and is killing her. And Connor Reed doesn't have the right resources to try to save his mom, so he turns to the life of crime with a group of other superpowered people. Things go completely wrong, and we have our movie Code 8. This film has a similarity to X-Men, has a similarity to Neil Blomkamp's Chappie, and I feel like it has a mesh of the X-Men mesh with Neil Blomkamp's directing style, or his visual style. When the way that Neil Blomkamp directs his movies, you see that he has this visual sense of nature with his movies that I felt like the director emulated and added into this film, where I thought was actually remarkable. This film does lack of budget, but is it the detriment of this film? I would tell you the good things about this movie. I thought Robbie Amell did the best he could with the script he had in this film, and there was some emotional beats that worked with this character, where Robbie Amell had to show some emotion, some range with his character, because his mother is dying, and he's trying to find the right resources to get the money to try to save his mom. And there are some emotional scenes and good chemistry with the actress who plays the mom, and also Robbie Amell does some very good emotional scenes, and I thought it was done really well. And also Stephen Amell, who plays another superpowered guy in this film. I thought his performance was just as good. Just as good. I like the chemistry between Robbie Amell and Stephen Amell. I think, well, they're brothers, so the chemistry is automatically there. But it was actually good and fun watching these two on screen. Now, as for the plot and the synopsis of this film, like the synopsis of this film, that Connor Reed's trying to find the resources, save his mom and stuff like that. And one of the things that this film does lack of, which I'll probably talk about more in emphasis and in the cons, is this film lacks budget, and it shows. Like, there's moments in the film where the CGI is not as great, but the thing that matter is to what saved this film is the execution. They can't show much of the CGI as much as they wanted to. They can't show specific scenes, that shows in good clarity and picture as much as they wanted to. The film has to find new ways to try to give a good story for the audience to keep watching, and the film does a really good job of executing the execution. They did a really good job on the execution aspect, like the story elements and the plot beats. The action sequences was actually pretty good. There was this one scene where Robbie Amell and Stephen Amell was fighting this superpower brute in this film, and the action sequence was pretty good, and I was like, ooh, okay. They did a decent job of trying to execute the power. The film doesn't really have these characters use their powers a bunch of times, only because of budgeting. So the film has a clever way of having these characters use their powers, and when the characters use their powers, they're not like trying to use their powers to show the audience, like, I am super powerful, Super Saiyan aura. No, they use their powers in critical moments that seems dire to the situation for the character. and the CGI revolving around the powers are actually pretty good. But just the movement between them when they're fighting one another, it does seem noticeable at times. And also you get an understanding of this world that they're living in, because in this world that they're living in, 3% of the world's population has abilities. And these people who has abilities, they're treated in a harsh way. There has some similarities to X-Men right there. But what I did like about this movie was they had this setting. They had this problem within these in the populace of people who has super abilities. They developed some decent social commentary revolving around that, and I thought that was pretty good writing. Now, as for the flaws with this film does have like a small little nitpick. I would say that the film's budget is not the detriment of the film, but there are some times where you notice some things and you can find yourself emotionally compelled with the main character in the movie. You can get yourself involved with him, and I was actually enjoying that. And also the social commentary, my main issue is the film doesn't do a good job of trying to relay what kind of message they're trying to have revolving around social commentary. That is only up for the audience interpretation. So, but for me personally, I just felt like they should have just revealed it and just let it there. Just give out the message, guys. It's like they were scared to give out the message. I mean, but if they did, they probably would have leaned more to the X-Men route. But still, it has some X-Men elements, but that's not the detriment to the film. This film was actually pretty good, and I would actually enjoyed this movie, so I had to give Code 8 a Christian Bale Batman. This is a fun movie you can watch on Netflix. Despite its budgeting, it's still a good movie. So guys, check out Code 8. You will have a good time. So that's my review of Code 8. Have you seen Code 8? What are your thoughts? Comment below, and I'll see you guys in the next review. If you like everything you see and you agree, subscribe to my channel and join me in the Batman family. I'll have more Batman-tastic reviews on the way. Stay clean and wash your hands. You have been warned. Till then,